In this video, I will show you how you can optimize your WordPress website for search engine optimization by using Yoast SEO plugin. So we will be talking about what exactly is this Yoast SEO plugin and how you can download and configure that on your WordPress website. And then we will also talk about how you can optimize your blog post with the help of Yoast SEO plugin. So we have a lot of things to cover. Let's dive in. Hi, my name is Ankit and welcome to Magazine 3 YouTube channel where we talk about everything related to WordPress. So if you want to learn more about WordPress, then make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever we upload a new video. So let's start with the first question. What is Yoast SEO? Yoast SEO is a powerful plugin which can help you optimize your WordPress website to be easily found and recognized by search engines like Google, Bing or Yandex. Now these search engines like Google, they have their own algorithm where they read about your title, your description, your URL structure of your WordPress page or the blog post that you are working on, and also the keyword that you are using. And that's exactly where Yoast SEO can help you optimize these parameters and make your content more SEO friendly. So that's the basic of Yoast SEO. So now let's dive in the WordPress backend and I'll show you how you can download and set it up on your WordPress website. So in order to download the Yoast SEO plugin, we need to go to plugins. We need to click on add new. And from here, we will search for Yoast. And this is the plugin we are looking for, Yoast SEO. So we're going to click on install now. And once that is done, we're going to click on activate. So now the plugin is installed. So let's go ahead and check what all options Yoast SEO offers. So this is the dashboard or the general setting tab of this Yoast SEO plugin. So if it is the first time, then you will see this configuration wizard option here. So no matter you are an advanced or a new user, it's better to start your setup using this configuration wizard. So we will click on this. So now it's going to ask us few questions. So it will help the plugin to understand what we are trying to do in terms of optimizing our website for search engines. And it will be using these details in some backend stuff. So if in case you are working on a live website, so you need to choose option A. Yes, my site is live and ready to be indexed. And if in any case you want to hide your website from search engines, then you can choose the option B, that your website is currently under construction and you don't want to be indexed. So once that is done, let's click on next. So in this step, it's asking us to choose a site type, whether it is a blog or an online e-commerce website. So for this example, I'm selecting it as blog. So once that is done, we click on next. Alright, so here it's asking us if it is an individual website or an organization. So I'm selecting organization here. So we will type in Magazine 3 and here we have an option to upload a logo. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to upload that from my computer. So here is the logo and here you can enter the URL for your social media handles. So let me just fill that up very quickly. Alright, so once that is done, we will click on next. And here it's asking us to select search engine visibility. So here it's asking us to show posts in our search result. So the option we're going to select is definitely yes. And in the next option, it's asking us to select if we want to show pages of our website in search result. Then again, we should select yes here as well. And then we will click on next. And now it's asking us if we have multiple authors on our website. So I'm going to select no for this example. If you have multiple authors, then go ahead and select yes. So with that, let's click on next. So now here's the option for SEO title settings. So first thing is website name. So it's taking from the WordPress backend. You can go ahead and edit that here as well. And here is the separator that you want to add between the different keywords that you put in the SEO title of any blog post or page. So normally we select this as a separator. So I will leave it as it is. So we click on next. So now it's asking us to share the website data with you so that they can improve as they go on. So as per your wish, you can go ahead and choose the option. I'm just keeping it no for this example. So now we go ahead and click on next. And with that, our setup is done. So for now, we just gonna scroll down and click on next. Alright, so now we are at the final stage and the setup is done. So we click on close. Alright, so the setup wizard is done. We are back on the general tab or the dashboard of the Yoast SEO plugin. So now let's go ahead and check what other options are available here. So after dashboard, we will check features. So there are various options and you can go ahead and click on this question mark to know more about that. But as a rule of thumb, you can leave it as it is. The default settings are pretty much perfect. So you can go ahead and leave it as it is. And next we will check the integrations. So if you are using third-party products like SEMrush or Write, you can go ahead and integrate that as well. So we are not going to cover that in this tutorial. So we will check out the next option, that is Webmaster tool. And here's the point where you can link your website using Yoast SEO plugin to various search consoles or webmaster tools like for Google, for Bing and Yandex. All we have to do is just enter the verification code here and our site will be linked to the search console of that search engine. So let's go ahead and take an example of Google here, how we can verify that website in Google Search Console so that we can get all the details of the SEO that we are doing. So in this tutorial, we will cover the Google verification code. So for Google verification code, we need to have a Gmail ID so that we can log in the Search Console or the Webmaster tool for Google, that is Google Search Console. So we go ahead and search for Google Search Console and this is the first link that shows up. So let's go ahead and click on that. And after that, we're going to click on Start Now. It will take us to the dashboard of Google Search Console. If you already have a Google Search Console account, you will be landing on the dashboard of your last website that you have visited. Or if it is your first time, you will see a blank screen. So in order to add a new website, we have an option here. It says Add Property. So we will click on that. And here we will choose the second option, that is URL prefix. So here we will enter the domain URL which we want to get the Google verification code. So we will enter that here, and once we click on continue, and here are a few examples by which we can verify our website in Google Search Console or get the verification code. So we will gonna use HTML tag. So here is the HTML tag here which we need to copy and then go back to our Yoast SEO settings, and in this Google verification code we will paste that code. And then we will click on Save Changes. And once that is done, we go back to Google Search Console to do the final step of verification. So we click on Verify and it will start doing some backend stuff. And now our Google Search Console is configured and ready to use. So that's how we can configure Google Search Console or the Google Webmaster using Yoast SEO plugin. So once that is done, let's check the next option of Yoast SEO plugin, that is Search Appearance. So here we have already done that in the wizard, that how we want to use the title separator. We have already selected this option, and here are the settings that how we want our SEO setting to be done. So this is the general setting from Yoast SEO plugin, that for home page the SEO title will be site title, then the page title, then we have the separator, that is this sign, and after that we have the tagline of our website. So this is just the general setup, and even if you leave it as it is, you can still override that by editing the home page. So I'll show you that in a minute. So again, we have the meta description. We can assign different variables here as well. How we want to show our meta description, like for home page, we can enter the excerpt as the meta description, and after that we can enter the variables like site title, and in between we can also enter the separator. So that's how we can create meta description for home page. So once again, you can always update that from the page itself or from the post that you are trying to optimize. So all that can be done on page and post level as well. Below that we have a social media image. So let's go ahead and update that image. We select an image. So this image is a bit small. Let's go ahead and upload a new one. So this one is 200 by 200 pixel, which is the minimum size for this kind of images. So once that is done, again we have an option to assign what should be the title for all the URLs that we will be sharing on social media. So I'm going to leave it as it is because we will be defining that on page and post level. So once that is done, we have an option like for the knowledge graph and schema. So here is an option if you want to change from person to organization. This is the place where you can edit that. And once again, we have an option to edit the organization name, the organization logo. And once that is done, let's click on Save Changes. Alright, so once that is done, let's move on to the next tab, that is Content Type. Here is an option which we have already selected in the wizard as well. So here the first option is for post. This we have already configured in the installation wizard where we have selected post to be shown in search results. So once we turn that on, we get an additional option that we want to show SEO settings on every posts or not. So if we turn that off, we have an option to assign what SEO title, meta description we want to assign each and every post, which we do not want. We want to assign separate title and description for each and every post we write. So we're gonna turn it on and leave all these settings as it is because we anyway going to update that on every post. Below that we have the schema settings. So here it's asking us what is the default schema for our pages. So by default it's web page. We will be leaving it as it is. So you can select all the other options depending upon what website you are working on. So by default web page is the best option. And below that we have the default article type. What is the type of article that we are publishing on our website? So if it is a news website, so it should be a news article. If it is a tech article, you can select tech article from here. So we will leave it on default article. And below that we have some premium options which you can go ahead and check out if you want to purchase their premium plans. Below that we have settings for pages, and below that for pages as well we get all the options that we have just checked for posts. So once that is done, we click on Save Changes. And let's move on to the third option, that is media. So I would highly recommend that you do not do anything on this option. Leave it on yes. That is the best setting already done. So let's move on to the next option, that is taxonomies. So we want to show taxonomies like categories in search result. And once that is turned on, we see the option for SEO settings on category. So once again, same like our pages and post, we have all options here as well. And at the very bottom, we have the option for category URLs. You can remove the category prefix if you want, and I would suggest you keep it as it is. And after that, we move on to our next option, that is archives. And if you want to show author archives in search results, so if in case you have multiple authors on your website, then you can turn it on. Otherwise, leave it off. Below that we have an option for date archives, that if you want to show articles depending upon the dates, I would prefer it depends on what kind of website it is. If it is not a news website, I would prefer that to turn it off. For a corporate website or for a general blog, I would suggest you to turn it off. After that we have an option for breadcrumbs, how we want to show the breadcrumbs on our website. The separator for breadcrumbs will be this arrow, and the anchor text for home page will be home. You can go ahead and edit that, but let's leave it as it is. If you want to add any prefix to that breadcrumb, you can go ahead and enter a text here. Like we have the prefix for archive breadcrumbs, it will show archives for, and then it will show the breadcrumb. Same goes for other pages as well. So these are just general settings. It's better you keep it as it is. Next we have the RSS option. We have this settings for RSS. If you are publishing any RSS feed, here you can do all the settings about that. So once that is done, let's move on to the next option, that is social. And here we have already done these settings in the installation wizard where we have entered all the social media profile URLs. So nothing different here. And after that we have the Facebook option where it will add open graph metadata. So it will show the image and the title from our SEO title that we enter. And here is an option to enter a default image. It will take this image as a default if we do not explicitly assign a social media image for our blog post or pages. So how we assign that image, we will cover that in a minute. So once that is done, we will click on save. And after that, we have the same settings for Twitter as well. and same goes for Pinterest. So if you are using Pinterest, then you require a Pinterest confirmation. It is almost the same way that we have done for Google Webmaster. So you will get a meta tag from Pinterest that you enter here, and once you click on Save Changes, your website is verified for Pinterest as well. So once that is done, let's jump on to the next option, that is Tools. So these are some advanced options that we will cover in later videos that we are going to do for Yoast SEO. So we will check that later on. We are done with all the settings for Yoast SEO on our website. So now let me show you how you can use Yoast SEO to optimize your blog posts and pages. Now let's say we have a blog post like 15 best yoga poses for kids. I have not written that, I have just copied it from anywhere just to show you how we can use Yoast SEO for optimizing this blog post. So let's go ahead and click on edit and see what options we have. And here is the big title. It's depending on the theme that you are using. I am just using the default theme. And right now if we scroll down, we have the Yoast SEO block here, where we have to do all the settings, and you can also open that from the very top right corner here. If you click on that Y icon, it's for Yoast SEO. It will open up all the details that we see here as well. So once we are ready with our page or the blog post which we need to optimize for SEO, so the first thing we need to do is identify the focus keyword. In this case, the focus keyword is yoga poses for kids. So as soon as we enter this key phrase or this keyword, Yoast SEO plugin will start analyzing our article depending upon this focus keyword. And then it will start giving us some suggestions and scores for our SEO. Right now it's showing the orange color, which means it's okay. It requires a little bit of improvement. So let's enter some more details and we will get a clear picture about it. So once we are done with the focus keyword or the focus key phrase, next we need to enter the SEO title. So this is the default SEO title that we have seen in the Yoast SEO settings. So here we can go ahead and remove all of that and we can define new SEO title here. So we will type in 10 best yoga poses for kids. So this will be our SEO title and we enter this separator, and then we will use variables and we will add site title here. And if you want, you can also enter various other variables like current year. So the title will become 10 best poses for kids, the site title, and then the year. So below that we have the slugs. So this is the option where we can update the URL for our blog post or the page that we are working on. So we will change that to our keyword. So we will use yoga poses for kids, something like that. And below that we will enter the meta description as well. So let's say we enter this description. So right now we are getting this green sign, which means that the character limit for this meta description is right under the limit. And once we see this orange sign, it means that we can enter more details here. So if we enter like this, so now it turned to the green, which means that it's now in the good range. So once that is done, so here we have the SEO analysis. Let's go ahead and check what it shows. So here it says the internal linking, no internal linking is found. So of course we are only using single blog post, so we don't have any other pages to link. But this is the point that this plugin can tell you, that you need to put some internal links to other blog posts so that it can become more engaging. So next point of problem is keyword phase in introduction. So we have not entered our focus keyword in the starting of our article. So that's why it's showing this problem. So let's just enter any random. Let's say we just randomly type in our keyword. You need to be a little bit humanly when you are writing your lines. You just can't stuff keyword here. So this is just to show you an example. So let's say you enter your focus keyword in the first 2-3 lines in your article. And now let's go down in the analysis again. And you see the problem number are now 3. The keyword phase not in the beginning of the content is now moved to good results. That is here, keyword phase in introduction. And if we check the next tab, it is the readability, where we will see all our problems and the improvement scopes and the good results. And after that, we have an option for schema. So it's taking the default settings that we have already done. So we will leave it as it is. And the next tab is social. Here we can define the special image which will be visible on Facebook when we share this post URL on Facebook. We can also define the Facebook title, what will be visible once we share this on Facebook, and same goes for Facebook description. So instead of this SEO title and description, you can write your custom title and description for Facebook. And same goes for Twitter as well. This is how you can use Yoast SEO. You can see the problems, you can see what problems it's showing you here. You can fix that and then get a better score for your content in terms of SEO optimization. So this is not a hard and fast rule that you need to fix every problem here. Just try to fix as much as problem you can, but do not compromise on the readability of your content. So this is the basics of how you can use Yoast SEO plugin to optimize your website pages and blogs. So if you like this video, then make sure you hit the like button and help YouTube algorithm to send this video to all the people who want to learn more about Yoast SEO plugin. And if you want to learn more about Yoast SEO and SEO in general for WordPress websites, then make sure you subscribe to Magazine 3 YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever we upload the next video, because we will be publishing more videos and you don't want to miss that. And I'll see you in the next one.